Hello friends, welcome back to another financial analysis. We'll cover my NVIDIA and gold predictions. This is the traditional stocks, traditional finance channel. So today is the 23rd of January. We had a green day for the markets. Actually, both of these days, yesterday and today, were green. After trading hours, the position opened lower than the closing position of yesterday. But nonetheless, the direction of the day is green for both. So I was expecting something really stronger because we are entering this opportunity zone, this green box 23-24. Remember guys, the boxes always represent a much more powerful movement. Okay, it's not always the case, but it's like 90% of the case. So I was really expecting something bigger than this, especially today, because this is the beginning of this opportunity zone. But from the position to the closing one, it's basically barely 2%. So it's not really that powerful, which can lead me to believe that maybe, and just maybe, there could be a very volatile day tomorrow. That's almost guaranteed because we have a red day, also part of this green box. So we have two opposite energies converging over this single day 24. So maybe we can get a very volatile day, and if we're lucky, it could be a very nice pump for NVIDIA, which could mean maybe something like 3%. I really don't think we can see a 5% or even higher. It's kind of impossible at this point. But maybe a 3% that could be solid. Conversely, if things go south, it could mean maybe 3% correction, 2%, something like that. Okay, so you better be prepared for this. It's going to be Friday, the final day of the week. So far, all of these Fridays, like the past 3 or 4 Fridays, have been very relaxed. We have this one on the 17th, as you can see, basically a range except for the first hours. We have this one on the 10th of January, again another very range day except for the first hour. We have another one, or another range day on the 3rd of January, except again for the first hour. So just by looking at these 4 Fridays, maybe we can see something similar to develop. But I think this case is going to be way more volatile, just because we have the very powerful signals, the very powerful guarantees of volatility right here on my patterns. Remember guys, whenever we have a day shared by opposite energies, that's almost always guaranteed volatility. And in the case of the last Fridays, the Jews were covered by green, by yellow days, right here on the 3rd, right here on the 17th, and the only exception was this one on the 10th, which was part of the green circle, but it really didn't play out like that. It's only, it wasn't really a green day. But yeah, that's basically all I have for NVIDIA for tomorrow. The next week could be more volatile. The next week we could open with a very volatile Monday on the 27th, followed by possibly a correction on the 28th. It's going to be a danger zone right here, even though we don't have any red boxes. It could be just still normal corrections, so be aware of that. For the other days of the week, we have yellow days, and a very small possibility for an uptrend on the 30th of January. I say very small because it's very late into the month, basically one day before the month ends. So I don't think we're going to see that. If we're lucky, we can do certainly a good pump, but it's the odds are very stacked against that outcome. But yeah, that's basically all I have for NVIDIA. Now let's take a look at gold. And gold is right here. I think gold is just climbing high. Oh my god, yeah, look at this guys. Look at this amazing, really very powerful pumps. I told you that these days could be very volatile, 22, 23. Let's take a look at these days. So the 22 was kind of a range day. Yeah, the beginning, basically the first position where the day starts, It's very similar to where it closes somewhere around here. Yeah, very similar. Okay, almost identical. So it was a yellow day in that regard, a range day. But today we see that the 23, at least on gold, is way more volatile. So from the beginning to the current position, we are talking about almost 1%. So remember, this is very big. This is massive for gold. It's going to be very difficult to see 5%, 6%, 10% like we do see on crypto all the time. For gold, it's not the case. So 1%, almost 1% is very big, extremely big. But because it's rising so fast, it's almost guaranteed that we can see a very powerful correction, which is actually the case for the next days. Okay, we have a correction signal right here, 24.25. Again, confirmed also by the red box, 24.25, the same days. So expect a very powerful correction on those days, 24.25. The worst case scenario, we can see even 2 days consecutive corrections. Okay, now for the 25, it's going to be a very volatile day because that's the day where it's also the connection to this green circle right here, 25.26. It's also the connection to this green box right here, 25.28. So the 25 is going to be a very volatile day. It's going to be the connection, the transition to a new trend, which is a green trend. The hidden pattern that always basically tells me that the last 10 days, last 5 days of the month are always the toughest in the sense of corrections, in the sense of bearish vibes. It could maybe play out for gold, but at the same time, I'm not really sure because the last time I covered gold, it was kind of an exception. It really didn't go as planned. I mean, we did saw some corrections, but not as extreme as in other of my predictions. Remember, guys, it's a very hidden pattern that I talk about, and it has been proven consistently. So yeah, for some reason I don't have the last gold prediction, which I don't. Right here, it's right here. So yeah. Okay, so let's take a look just to see what we can expect on the last days of the month. So yeah, maybe it's going to be a correction on the last day. So the bearish sentiment is going to be kind of setting in the very last days of the month. But for most of these last 10 days, it was actually kind of a green uptrend right here. We can see it's basically the case right here. Okay, so this is from May. It's one of my first, and actually the first prediction that I made for gold. It's quite interesting. But yeah, guys, we can maybe expect some of that. So maybe if it's basically telling us that the corrections on the last days are not that strong in gold, at the very least, maybe we can see some of these green days really pump really high. But we do have danger zones, the one that we will enter tomorrow and the other one that is around the 27, 28 and possibly connecting to the 29, 30. So very bearish vibes for gold, corrections, strong signals for red days. So be aware of that. Basically, that's all I have. It's all I have for you. I wish you a good day. I'll invite you to subscribe, share, and like, as always, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.